should you date an older woman? Now, when I say older, I'm not talking about within your range, just a couple years older, like I'm 26. I'm not talking about older women like you dated a 28-year-old, 29-year-old. I'm talking about no matter what age you are of a guy, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, a significantly older woman, like 10 plus years, something like that. And I've talked about sexual market value on this channel with the Red Pill and MGTOW. And when it comes to men and women and how they age, the man is going to age like wine, so to speak, and the woman's going to age like milk. Now, this is nothing against women or like pro-man. It's just the way that it interplays with how one sex evaluates the other sex. So whereas the woman is going to look for that provider type, the alpha, the masculine, it's going to take the guy time to get going. And if the guy wants the youth and the fertility to bear the offspring, bear the kid, then that's just going to gravitate towards the younger women. So that's just how it plays out in nature. It's not like disrespectful to women, and it's not putting men on like a higher pedestal than they're worth also. It's just a reality of how both sexes view each other. Now, definitely as a man, take pride in your SMV. Take pride in your sexual market value. Take pride in what you do as a man and what you've built for yourself. So if you're a man that you've reached your 30th birthday and you've worked your way up to a point where you're entry-level position in your 20s, and you've worked your way up and now you're in a higher position, or you own a business, and your life is coming together and you're more mature, take pride in your level as a man, and don't think that you just have to settle for the girl who's also 30, because the 30-year-old guy and the 30-year-old girl are not the same. So definitely, like I've talked about marriage before, you sign that government contract, and you have that lifetime contract, and it's risky. The laws are very stacked against men, but even just like casual dating or some kind of commitment, as a 30-year-old man, you don't just have to go for the 30-year-old girl. You can go for the 18-year-old girl because you've built your status up. You can go for the younger girl. There's nothing weird or creepy about that. If it's all legal, everybody's a consenting adult. Don't get shamed into the creepy factor of that. Now, when it comes to older women, even though I talk about the SMV of the guy increasing with age and the woman's going down with age, it's not to say that a woman's value as a human being goes down with age. There is something very cool about an older woman that is past like that immaturity and kind of has some years of self-reflection to really look at her actions, look at her life, and become like a more conscious person just in general. So for me personally, I do enjoy older women. I enjoy the wisdom that some older women have, and just experiences. I would never want to commit to one. I'm not gonna like meet a woman that's she's 20 years older than me, like 46 or something, and let's get married or let's have a committed relationship. No, but like if she's cool and we want to hang out and kick it, and that's fine, and I'm totally for that, because a lot of times I relate to older women a lot more than women my age, especially with the content I talk about here on YouTube, and just the level I'm at for a 26-year-old man. I find that 18-year-old girls to 26-year-old girls, so like the legal age to my current age, I find that range of girls a lot of times to not really comprehend a lot of the things that I say or do, which is understandable. I'm pretty mature for a 26-year-old and pretty conscious for where I'm at in life. So I tend to get the older women who kind of understand my talking points. And it's funny too, sometimes once in a while when a woman gets triggered by a piece of content or something that I'm saying, usually it's that younger girl or like a feminist type, no matter what age. A lot of them don't understand, like women agree with what I'm talking about, especially the older women. Like the older women laugh at what I'm talking about. They understand what I mean by sexual market value and hypergamy. Like an older woman that's being honest with herself, she's gonna know that stuff, right? Like if I meet a woman that's 46, most of them are gonna have like some idea of hypergamy, and they're gonna have enough self-reflection over the course of their life to get what I'm saying, and not just go to the sexist or misogynist, and there are some like that. Like I said, like the liberal feminist types will definitely still be like that, But what I'm saying in regards to older women is that there is something very cool about meeting an older woman that it has maturity about her and like has understood her life up to a certain point and like can look back and understand her decisions with men and understand like in her 20s that she's just using her open hypergamy and being able to appreciate certain things about certain men more now that she's older and looking back on it. Now, I don't mean beta male provider. I don't mean the woman that says, "Oh, I see the light in you now," just to bait you into a marriage, just so that she has her security net. So no, I'm not talking about the fake sense of maturity, the fake, "Oh, I've seen the light in you, I've matured, I've changed." I'm talking about a woman who's actually able to look at reality, understands the biological clock, understands phases of her life, whether it's peak years and then epiphany phase and then her fertility drying up, the wall, and then her menopause and so forth. A woman who actually understands these concepts and is able to not have severe judgments on men or women. I'm not talking about the woman that is saying, "Oh, I see the light in you now," wants the marriage because you're just going to be the provider chump that now she has her security net. So when it comes to an older woman, a lot of older women, and the ones I meet too with selling the tie-dye clothes that I do in San Diego, they don't even want that commitment, right? They don't even want that marriage. Or they're at a point now where maybe they lived their life and maybe they partied a lot, maybe they had relationships here and there, they got divorces, and maybe they're in a place now or a single mom that she, whether she's a single mom or doesn't have kids or whatever, but she's an older woman who she's working jobs and like because she's a woman who's been in the workforce for a certain amount of years, it's given her a certain amount of humility that maybe the 18-year-old girl might not have when her parents are paying for everything and then send her to college and then she's just going crazy in this 2020 college culture. Parents are paying for everything, guys are buying her drinks, like everything's for free. The older woman that's in her 40s and 50s, who's had jobs and had to be in the world and actually had to reflect on herself, there's something very cool about that. When I meet a woman with that level of maturity, even selling the tie-dye in San Diego, I meet women from all over the world and older women too that they just want to like have a good conversation or kick it or just keep it casual. And I tell them, it's like, yeah, I'm definitely not looking for marriage, and especially not with a woman that's twice my age. Like a woman will be 52 that I meet. It's like funny, like I wasn't even alive when you were my age. Like that's just super funny when you meet women like that, and it just you see how the timeline of that plays out. But yeah, I definitely think older women, like when I talk about certain content on this, or whether it's Red Pill or MGTOW, a lot of people comment, not on this channel, but just on any channel in general, it's just like, "Oh, how dare you say that women get worse with age?" It's like, we're not talking about worse as a human being. Okay, we're talking about sexual market value. We're talking about an exchange of what someone is looking for. And yes, when you're the woman who bears the child and has the fertility, and biologically and spiritually, you're expecting the man to be alpha and provide and to be the hunter, it's just gonna take him more time to get to his peak, right? So like the women are gonna peak earlier than the man. It's not about like who's a better human being or someone got worse as a human being with age. It's just a reality, right? It's just a reality of how things play together. And I made this joke several times before about menopause and like a woman that goes through menopause, especially now with like the college hookup culture and paternity fraud, and you're just seeing all these divorce rates and divorce court and stuff that happens with people being taken of their resources, men losing half, losing houses. It affects their job, being thrown in prison because they can't pay the alimony, can't support their kids. It's a very crazy world in regards to a lot of that. So a lot of times when you start doing better as a man in the world, you do have those women at any age that, "Oh, I see the light in you now," or "Oh, I always knew this would be you." And then they look for that marriage and they're really just looking for that resource provider. And so you could be a guy who's not thinking very clearly, so you end up having sex with a girl and you're not using protection or whatever, and she tells you she's on birth control, and then whoops, "Oh, I'm pregnant now." And I made a joke before about women that have been through menopause or they're going through menopause, You can save yourself all that trouble if you're just dating the menopausal women. Like if you just like at 26, if I start like making a bunch of money and my businesses take off, my goals, YouTube, whatever, I could just like, hey, I'm only gonna date women 45 and up. That way, even with using protection, she can't pull a fast one. 45 and up, because she's menopausal. So no matter what happens, it's guaranteed to be 100%. And you know, older women find that funny. Older women think that joke is hilarious. They get it. You know, but it's always the younger girl has a problem with that, because she feels like you're looking into it too much to where she can't benefit from it. I was at dinner once with this woman. She was 56 and I was 25. This was last year. It's super funny. So she's 31 years older than me. So she was 31 when I wasn't even alive. Super funny looking at it. And I was at a restaurant and a bar, and we're eating food, and we had this young girl that's a waitress, and she comes back and, like, you know, asks if we're ready to order, and it's clear that she's not my mom, the girl that I'm with. Like, our body language and everything, it's obvious that she's not my mom. And this young waitress, she was super annoyed by it. You could just tell, like, she was like rolling her eyes, and she was like super like just like short with everything she was saying, and just got kind of rude as a waitress. She would like slap the receipt on the table at the end, just like like the woman I was with, she noticed it too, and it was just super funny. But like, young girls have a problem seeing that. Like, here's a girl at that time, she was probably a year or two younger than me. She was like 23 or 24. I was 25. Here I'm out with like a 56-year-old woman. It's like, why am I not with her? You know, like screw this guy. Like, I hate this guy kind of thing. It's like, well, look, like at 25, you know, I wasn't like rolling in the big dough to like the point where like a girl would like just like purposely want my kid. But at the same time too, I'm with a modeling agency. I'm you know, considered an objectively good-looking guy with the facial features, mixed race, green eyes. There would be women that would just want that genetics for their kids. So back to the joke, I could save myself all that trouble and only have women 45 and older. That way I can still make my money, still get laid if I want to, still have women in my life. But even with using protection and knowing for sure that if she's 45 and older, she can't pull a fast one. There's gonna be no slip-ups, and I can just continue my life with no kids, no marriage, no cohabitation, and just be chill from there. And now I'm being funny about it. Like, I'm not saying that like I'm only gonna be with women 45 and older, but I'm just saying it's not a bad option. Like, you know, if there's a cool older woman that you click with, it's definitely not a bad option to date older women. Older women do have that maturity and that experience that is very nice to have, whether it's just for a conversation or a casual hookup, or even if you are committed for a little bit without the marriage, you know, you're seeing each other frequently. There's nothing wrong with that. So when we talk about sexual market value and the red pill, a lot of feminists, they get triggered by, how dare you say women age, like after 22 they're no good. It's like, it's not what we're saying here. It's just there's a peak. When you're expecting commitment or a marriage or some long-term thing, there is a window of opportunity. So if you as a woman are expecting a guy to make all this money, be in at least a decent shape, to be good looking to you, sexually attractive to you, he's got to be funny, but not too funny, right? He's got to have money, but not too much where he has too many other options, right? He's got to be good looking, but not too good looking to where other girls think that, right? He's got to be this tall, otherwise you're not attracted to him. So like, women have this like list of like 50 things that's required of the guy. Okay, well, if we're gonna give you that marriage, if we're gonna give you that commitment, there's a difference between you being 18 versus you being 28 saying, okay, I'm done partying, or I'm done seeing if you're my best option or not. As a man, if I'm gonna give that commitment long term, you can't just look at me at 26 and be like, oh, well, this other guy might be a better option for me. You have every right to do that. You can do that, but if my stuff takes off at like 28 in 2 years, then the girl comes, the 26-year-old girl, now that like she doesn't know if I'm her best option. In 2 years, I'm taking off, but she's 28 and she's like approaching the wall, and she like realizes it in me now, and now it's my fault that I don't want to get married or I don't want to commit. It's like, no, like, I'm not gonna fall for that. Like, fall for the beta male provider role, the chump provider, the work donkey, the the resource provider, the pack mule. I'm not gonna do that. Like, why couldn't I just go with the younger girl, right? Like, if the girl that's 26 doesn't see something in me now, and I'm in a better position by her standards at 28, why do I need to just go with the 28-year-old woman? I could go with like the 18-year-old woman or the 19-year-old woman, the 20-year-old woman, the girls that aren't even old enough for the bar yet, right? I don't need to go for the girl that's just been spending her whole time at the bar, or just like sleeping around in college, or just like didn't think I was a good option just because she's 28 now and I'm 28, so I just owe that. Why can't I just go for the younger girl? Or why can't I go for the 45 and up? That way I know I'm not having a kid. I know I can just like stay afloat and continue my things. I know that if she's 45 and up, there's not gonna be that chance of her like looking to lock down that resource, right? So it's like you kind of, it's funny too, because it's always the people closest to you that really don't understand sometimes what it is you're doing, whether it's your goals, your life, your dreams, your business, or your angle. It's always like the stranger that kind of sees what you're talking about. And I was talking about this the other day where like when I'm selling tie-dye in San Diego and I'm at the beaches and the zoo, I tend to get the most comments and compliments from women that are 17 and younger or 35 and older, right? If it's like 18 to 34, what would be like close to me, like which would be like what society would deem like an ideal range of dating, I get the least comments from. Like I'm 26, I get the least amount of compliments from 26-year-old women. Next year at 27, I'll get the least from 27-year-old women, because it's always the closest people to you that it puts more at stake. I was even talking to this older woman at the beach the other day. She's like a volunteer for the seals that we have in La Jolla at Children's Pool. So she gives people information about the seals and the sea lions, and she's in her like late 60s, early 70s. I was talking to her about that concept, and she thought it was funny, and she said it's kind of like the older women, they can kind of look at you as a 26-year-old man and really appreciate what it is that you are. And she said like the young girls, like the 17 and younger, they're probably like in awe of you. So like you got that range on both ends. That's just like you either go for like the girl that's like not legal, which like you're not gonna do, or that you go for the girl that's like going through menopause, right? It's just like life just would play a joke like that. But yeah, older women are definitely cool to date.